recording, right? Yeah, it's automatically recording. Okay. All right.
Where's Morty?
I guess he's signing in still.
Okay.
That's great. You have the Rebbe picture right behind you too. I love it.
Yeah, I special did it because I realized last time I didn't have it on there.
Yeah, that's part of our thing, you know?
Right. That is our thing.
That is right. 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 We're part of his thing.
He has big Rahmanas on us, and he lets us in.
I'm just gonna figure out the puppet situation here. What I'm gonna do for the puppets. Yes, I can just go over to there.
So, should I start the story? Or do you want to start the niggin first?
Whatever way is good. I guess for the puppet.
Okay. So the story
okay.
is Shamil's niggin. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The story is called Shamil's niggin. When our Rebbe first taught, it was our Rebbe who taught us this melody. He explained that he heard the melody and the story behind it from the Hasidim. The Tsarist government wanted to conquer the people who lived in the Caucasus Mountains. These people were not lowly peasants. They were used to freedom, like birds who loved to soar on high. They lived in the mountains. The Russian army outnumbered the mountain people, but they were unable to defeat them because of the terrain. So they used deceit to capture the leader, whose name was Shamil. They promised peace. And when Shamil came down from the mountains to negotiate the peace terms, they arrested him and put him in jail. And he was in exile, banished all the way to the deep depths of Russia. And there in exile, he often recalled his days in the high mountains when he was free from his oppressors. He would sing a tune which opened with yearning and ended with hope and belief that he would one day return home. When the Hasidim heard this song, they connected it to the descent of the soul into this world. A descent from the highest heights under the throne of the Holy King, all the way down to the lowest depths to be dressed in an animal soul down here in this world. On high, the soul is hidden under the throne of glory. When it's formed, it stands before the living God. After it ascends to this world, it becomes enclosed within a body and has to confront challenges and obstacles. When a person contemplates the soul's dark state of being in this physical world, he realizes how much he blemished that soul through his sins. Assuming he has fixed up the damage, he also knows that even many of the mitzvahs that he did do were not performed perfectly. And when he does reach a level where he's aroused to love and fear Hashem and serve him happily, he's still not completely unified with Hashem. He realizes that all these obstacles and tribulations are in order to achieve an ascent higher than before the soul's descent into the body. The reason for the soul coming down is so that it should reach a higher level than where it started. And where it started was under the throne of the king, standing in front of God. Yet, he's still at a low point. He's not able to soar like an eagle. Because after all, his soul is still exiled in the body. The result is that he yearns. Like it says in Psalm number 63, my soul thirsts for the high mountains. Who are the high mountains? Our forefathers. They're called mountains, who bequeath their descendants their level of kindness and strength and beauty of the supernal world of Atzilus. And more so, he longs to ascend even higher than that place of the souls of his forefathers, all the way to the height of the infinite before the contraction of life. That's the section of represented by Shamil's nigun in the yearning part. The last section of the tune expresses the firm belief that no one is lost forever. Eventually, we'll ascend from this deep, dark valley, all of us, and reach the place of our desire, even higher than the heights from which we are descended. After all, the reason for the descent is to reach and unite with Hashem, to embrace and cleave to the King, the Holy One, blessed be He. After singing the nigun, after singing this tune, when the Rebbe taught it to us, the Rebbe said that even in the opening tune, in the opening verse, in the yearning part, one could sense the great strength and spirit of Shamil's precious freedom. This is similar to the metaphor of a king's son who's in prison. Nevertheless, even though he's in prison, he always realizes he's a prince. This can also be compared to the descent of the soul. Even when combined in this lowly and dark world, we realize our soul's essential, unlimited state. And this realization gives us strength to overcome all obstacles that prevent us from serving our Father the King. And through that, we achieve the highest level. We unite with Hashem himself. And now, Mendel is going to sing Shamil's nigun. Marvin, you're going to sing Shamil's nigun?
I would, but you know, they won't let me.
They won't let you.
Oh, no. Because have you ever heard me sing the Tzalel?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, it ain't great. Here, I'll try.
You mean it's worse than me, Marvin?
Oh, you can't imagine. Yeah. I think we should have Mendel just sing it, huh?
Yeah, let's have Mendel sing it.
Okay.
What happened to Mordechai?
Oh, Mord. I don't know. He probably tripped on his fiddle bow.
He's not allowed to deal with that fiddle bow right now.
Oh, no, but he's allowed to trip on the bow.
By the way, how come Labe can't join without the video if he doesn't like the video?
That's true, because I'm doing a good job convincing him not to. Okay, let's have.
But are you going to sing? Are you going to sing the what do you call it there?
I'll have Mendel sing the nigun.
Okay, let Mendel sing it.
Ya ma Hey, I see more join the show.
Cool, man. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Now, right now, we're in the middle of counting of the Omer, and then this time we don't play musical instruments. So I wanted to make the theme of the show about Nagunim and what the holy tunes and what the inner intention of those tunes are. Morty, this should be music to your ears.
It is. It is.
Cool.
Okay. Almost ran out of power.
I also wanted to share some insights into Hasidus Chabad and how Hasidus Chabad manifests the service of Hashem through our intellect. Now, I'm not demanding of anyone that they should actually do the service, because who knows if I know how to do the service. But let's think of it as somebody who's taking the tour of a tourist attraction, like a famous bridge. They don't really get the inner workings of the bridge. And even the guy that's telling it to him, like me, I'm the tour guide, doesn't really know the inner structure of the bridge. But it'll be very interesting and very delightful to find out about this beautiful thing of the Hasidic service to God. The Alter Rebbe came up with a revolution in Jewish thought that it's possible to understand and internalize that understanding of godliness, even if a person does not have a lofty soul, and even if he did not go through a lot of fasting and self-mortification. But he said, the understanding of godliness can be internalized through the intellect, which is Chabad, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And from our own soul attributes, we can understand something of godliness. A person knows that he has a soul. He might not know what that soul is, but he knows how it works. It enlivens him and enlivens his powers, seeing and hearing and thinking and feeling. The Chabad way of service is through understanding concepts in godliness and how the King of the world works, and how everything is enlivened only through his name. And through that, we can internalize an understanding of godliness through that intellect. Now, the vessels that hold that light of that intellect are letters. If there will be no letters, the light of the intellect will have no vessel to reveal itself. And those letters are vessels which reveal ideas and feelings to another person. They're called the letters of speech. That's what reveals our ideas and feelings to another person. So too, our own feelings and ideas are revealed to us through another kind of letters, through letters of thought. And in turn, emotions are contained in the heart through their own letters. Hasidus explains that in thought itself, there are three particular levels. There's action of thought, speech of thought, and thought of thought. An example of action of thought might be choosing the actual letters I will use to express this thought to another before I speak. Speech of thought might be arranging the concepts that I want to communicate and the points to be communicated. And thought of thought is the idea itself in all of its depth, width, and length, and its inner meaning. Once, there was a chassid of standing. He was a known, accomplished person. He was very learned. He had a very broad mental capacity. And he once bemoaned to the Rebbe Marash that no matter the prodigious effort, and we can understand what it means, that a chassid of the Rebbe Marash in those days had a broad understanding, and what it means, the prodigious effort that he invested into understanding certain concepts, he said his mind remained closed. Now, I just want to mention over here that the Rebbe that this chassid went to, the Rebbe Marash, his birthday today is Rosh Chodesh Iyar, and the Rebbe Marash's birthday is on the 2nd of Iyar, which, by the way, in the counting of the Omer, is the level of beauty, Tiferes of Tiferes. And this is the Rebbe Marash. And this chassid came to the Rebbe Marash and he said, I don't know what to do. I'm using all of my powers of my intellect and it's not breaking through. The Rebbe Marash told him the remedy to open his mind was to chant Hasidic melodies while he's praying, while he's davening. Which is a funny thing. What do you mean? Singing a melody is going to open your mind to an intellectual thought, but that's what he told us. Because there's another category of letters, not just letters of speech and thought and emotions. There are letters which are vessels that hold and reveal light from the soul. They reveal the sealed and hidden, exalted depth of the soul. These letters, these vessels, reveal the exalted hidden depth of the soul, which up till now has not been revealed. That level is an actual piece of the soul, and it becomes elevated to spiritual palaces of light and revelation through the letters of a holy melody, much higher than intellect. And on that level, beams of light push away for that time all the no good and unholy elements that soul may have picked up. And all of that soul's abundant inner good, shining and pure and bright spiritual light, which at that time causes the spiritual to prevail over the coarse nature of the body and the animal soul. That's the holy melodies are able to accomplish. And that's the superiority of letters of the holy songs over even the highest letters of thought and wisdom, which is called the level of thought. So the letters of melody are much higher and accomplish much more than any kind of intellectual endeavor. Right, Morty?
100%. Amen.
And with this, we can now understand the depth of the advice of the Rebbe Mirage to that chassid, whose prodigious efforts to understand on the highest level of intellectual thought could not emerge from the level of constricted mind. And the remedy advanced by the Rebbe was to sing a song, a holy tune, during prayer. It worked because the song is the aid to reveal the soul levels of enjoyment and desire, Tanig and Ratzon, which reveal the inner essence level of the soul, which is completely good, and it includes the central potential of intellect. So that by singing these holy melodies, he was able to open up the source of his intellect so that his mind would open up to these things he was trying to understand. And these holy melodies we're talking about are nigunim, melodies, which are either composed by a Rebbe or chosen by him to sing himself, or ones indicated to be sung by the Hasidim, similar to Shamil's Nigun stuff. There are certain songs, certain nigunim, which result in an arousal of love and awe of Hashem, or cause a heartfelt desire to return to him. And they are able to touch anyone who sings or even hears them. But to access a Rebbe's inner intention in the kind of nigunim we're talking about requires that one learns the Rebbe's Chassidus. And without that learning, there's no hope the nigun will have the desired effect of banishing the not good and revealing the deep hidden good of the soul. We know the Hasidic interpretation and meaning in a particular tune that was composed by the Nittler Rebbe's musical ensemble called the Kapelli. It consists of 4 stanzas which parallel the 4 levels of service of the godly soul. Contemplation and understanding of godliness, which serves to prevail over the bad of that animal soul and to purify the animal soul and salvage its good. One, the 4 levels of godly service, which will be brought out by the 4 stanzas of the Nittler Rebbe's song. The service itself, first level of service, the service itself, to enter into it completely and wholeheartedly with all the powers of the soul which are needed to accomplish the victory. 2, to realize internally the richness of the understanding of godliness and the delightful taste of godliness, and how the coarseness of the animal soul is an obstacle to the internal revelation of godliness. 3, a deep realization of the no good of that coarse garment in which the godly soul is clothed. And 4, the realization that all roads are dangerous. In dealing with such a clever and evil creature, therefore, one must request help from above to accomplish his mission. When one sings or hears the 4 stanzas of the nigun of the Nittler Rebbe, slowly and deliberately, he'll realize how the 4 stanzas of the melody encompass the 4 levels of service that we just outlined, and how the godly soul carries out its mission of purifying the animal soul. Whether it takes 5 minutes or 15 minutes to do the first one, which is enter a mode of being completely focused.
Did you like our standing ovation for our first responders today?
Was that a question to me? Was somebody asking me a question? No. To be completely focused and given over to the service and to completely encompass all facets of the topic, the time it takes is inconsequential. For example, when some aspect of a person's physical life touches his very being, there's no difference to him if it takes 17 minutes or 17 hours to deal with it. He does what it takes because it touches on his very being. So too does one need to bond mentally with the godly topic he understood for however long it takes. For some it takes a minute, and for some an hour. That's the first stanza. To take all of my powers and bond with the godly idea. The second stanza consists of the inner realization that godliness is good. And it's not enough to leave the animal soul behind, but to come close to it in order to banish its evil and to salvage its good. What could be the good of the animal soul? Its irrepressible strength and its stubbornness to keep going for what it wants. And to use them, the powers of the animal soul, for example, the animal soul has the power of desire. It desires things. And when we salvage that power of desire for our godly service, then the animal soul comes to desire godliness. And we use that powers of the animal soul in our service of Torah and mitzvahs and davening and prayer. That's the second stanza. And the third stanza, we surround and create and corral the animal soul. The Tzemach Tzedek said that the Malach, who is the son of the Alter Rebbe's Rebbe, the Maggid HaMedrash, learned the lesson in service to God from a new tactic employed in the 7-Year War. It was some kind of war, I think it was between Austria and Russia, I don't know. And somebody was standing on a mountain while the war was being played out, and they saw this new tactic used by the side that won. The victory was achieved through one side surrounding the opponent, rather than fighting head to head. In Hasidic service, we apply the principle by surrounding each bad character trait individually with all 3 holy attributes of kindness and strength and beauty. Remember, we're on a tour. We're not trying to find out how to actually do this work. We're just seeing how beautiful and amazing it really is. In the 4th stanza, we ask for divine salvation to accomplish the victory over the powerful, wicked enemy who we encounter now face to face. And since we're forced to deal with it intimately in order to salvage the power in it, we can utilize its power, we stand in danger of being affected to our detriment. So we arouse our certainty of trust that we're on a mission for Hashem, and He's with us, and He'll certainly be victorious. In the 4th stanza, we express happiness and joyous attitude. Mendel, would you like to sing those 4 stanzas?
Sure. Ya yada ya yada ya
Hang on a second. That was the 1st stanza, where we commit ourselves completely to the service. Now we're going to have the 2nd stanza. Sorry.
da 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 ya la da da ya la da 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 ma ya da ya da. Ya la da da ya la da da ya la da 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 da. Oh ya la da ya da ya la da da ya la da da. Da 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 ya la da da ya la da da. Da 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 yo ya da ya da. Ya la da da ya la da da. Da 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 mo ya da ya la da. Da 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 ya la da da ya la da 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 mo ya da yo ya la da. Da 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 ya la da da ya la da 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 da. That's the second.
That was the second stanza, which consists of the inner realization that godliness is good. And it's not enough to leave the animal soul behind, but we have to banish its evil and salvage its good. Third one.
Ya ma 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 ma. Da 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 ya 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 ma ma ma. Ya la da yo ya la da ya. Da 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 ya 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 ya. I think that's actually the end of the second one. And the third one goes da da ya ya la da da ya la da da ya la da da.
That sounds like the fourth. You sure?
La 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 ma ya la da 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 ya la da da ya da ya la da ya da ya la da ya la da da ya la da 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 ya da ya la da ya da ya la da ma 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 ya la da 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 ya la da da ya la da ya da. That was the third one.
Okay.
Now the fourth
that was, I just want to say, the third one was to surround the bad attributes to be able to conquer them with our full strength of our good attributes. Now the fourth one.
Now the fourth one. They are that's essentially the fourth one. Then it goes back into
the fire. That's the fourth one that we sing happily because we realize that Hashem, whose service we're doing, is with us in the service, and therefore we have certain victory.
Yeah, and then
that's the beauty of the Nigunim, Marty, according to the Frierdiker Rebbe. And by the way, I just want to say that all this stuff is according to the previous Rebbe, and it's such a feeble explanation compared to the way the previous Rebbe explains it in such crystal clear, sharp focus. But we have to go with the tour guide. We're not with the main architect. And if anybody wants to, they can look in the sequence of the previous Rebbe and see how amazing it is, how he explains this kind of stuff. Now, are we going to have an interview with the 3,000-year-old puppet tonight on the Parsha? Or?
Yeah, well, he really would like to talk about Tazria-Metzorah with you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Uncle Hershey. I'll try to carry on. I don't know what happened to him. He probably hit the wrong link.
It could be. It could be he's still for bringing with us on the other one.
He might be walking the beast for all you know.
I'll give him a call.
or he's on the earlier for bringing, wondering why none of us are there yet. Why we're so late.
He's waiting for us.
Oh yeah, it's the second one. Remember the second one, and it's time for the puppets. And
That's
oh,
right.
oh wow, okay. Yeah, it's been good. Mendel's sang the niggin, and well,
The guy's a ham radio operator. He can't figure out how to hit the Zoom.
yeah, you're a ham radio operator. You can't figure out a thing. Yeah. He's trying to find it. He's gonna. I don't know.
Look, I sent him 2 emails. Open your emails.
Yeah. You talk to him. You talk to him.
Look who's here. It's the 3,000-year-old puppet.
Hoishi, all you have to do is click on the link. I'm 3,000 years old and I can figure that one out.
Let me ask you.
No, he's
something about.
What's his name? The puppet's name. What's his name?
The 3,000-year-old puppet.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. You were there with the first time when the Jews counted the Omer. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was correct. That was in fact when back when we came out of Egypt and things like this. There was a counting of the Omer, because it was the first year was actually we had to count, because we was actually going from there. We was going to the Mount Sinai, to Har Sinai, to receive the Torah. And when we came out of Mitzrayim, all the people was on a very low level. The 49 gates of Tumah, and they had to climb out of that so they could remember they was receiving the Torah from Hashem Himself. In other words, Hashem was giving us the ability to bring Ein Sof down, the eternal light, the pure godly light down to this light, and we had to get ourselves ready to do this.
By counting. By counting, we have to do it.
Yeah, by counting. That's what they told us to do. Tell me, Betzalel, why is it we do it from counting?
I'll tell you why. And the first night of Pesach, we got the amount of brains that it took for us to recognize that Hashem is our Father. And through that recognition, where we could call Hashem our Father, we're able to run after Him in the desert. And the metaphor is like if a person gets a sack of gold coin.
Yeah.
He gets it all at once, but he doesn't know how much he has. He doesn't know what it is. So then he starts to count. 1, 2, 3. So each day we count the Omer to draw out this thing of the small brains that we got the first night of Pesach, until finally after 50 days when we received the Torah. Now we're an old venerable scholar. No more a little kid.
Oh, well, now I understand better, Betzalel. Now I understand because back then I asked Moshe Rabbeinu, but he was a smart guy. I didn't always understand everything he said. I was a smart guy. And he told me.
And you knew him.
Yeah.
You knew him personally.
Oh, Betzalel, I was there,
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he told me, now I understand what he was saying after you explained it, because he told me that since when we came out of Mitzrayim, even though we was taken out by Melech Malchei Amlochim, the King of Kings himself, but we was received it in a way of Emunah Dekatnus and Moichin Dekatnus, a small Emunah and a small intellect. But when we got the Torah, we received Emunah. We received the big emunah and the big intellect. We got moichin of godless and emunah of godless. So we counting, but really it's a special thing, because it's not like just one. It's they interconnected all the days with each other, right? Because one follows the other. But at the same time, what's amazing is that every single day is a big mitzvah on itself. You don't make one bracha, right, and then count all 49 days, or the other way around. You make a bracha every single day, because even though one relies on the other one, at the same time, each one is its own mitzvah. And this is a very, very big lesson in life too. Because you know it's true. People say, oh, well, what you did yesterday affects you today, and what you do today will affect you tomorrow. And this is true on the one hand. But on the other hand, each day is its own mitzvah. We have to remember that we can, whatever we're holding, we can start climbing from there out of the levels of tumah, of impurity, and we can climb from there to have the right faith and emunah and to receive Hashem. Even if we didn't have something we didn't build yesterday the way we should have, we can start the count today. That's why there's a new bracha every day. Every day you can start the count. Of course, once you do today, tomorrow will be even better because now you can build on that.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to count the Omer with a bracha before you say Mariv?
Can you count with a I don't know. That never happened to me. I always say Ma'ariv B'Tzalo. What's the?
Because I think on the show somebody did you say Mariv already, Morty? Because I think on the show somebody should count for the people.
Yeah,
tell them what day it is.
I believe that these mitzvahs, even though it's, I believe that these mitzvahs, even though we traditionally do it after Ma'ariv, it's not interconnected.
Well, you can do the mitzvah before you daven, as long as it's after Shkia. Is that correct?
That's correct. That sounds
okay.
right.
So I'm going to say it now with a bracha. Hang on, I'm going to get us to it.
Okay, great. In the meantime, I'll sing a little song.
Okay, do it.
It's gonna be the little kinder. Wait, where's the microphone? Give me the nice microphone. There we go. It's gonna be the little kinderlach. The little kinderlach. It's gonna, oh, that tastes good. It's going to be the little kinderlach who bring Mashiach now. It's not gonna be the garbage man. It's not gonna be the fireman. It's not gonna be a schmaltz herring man. It's not.
Actually,
are you sure?
Okay, it will be the schmaltz herring man, but the schmaltz herring man can only do it. Why? Because boom, 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 boom. It's going to be the little kid, the little kid,
Mendel.
The bring more.
Ah, yeah. Beautiful. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
I'm not finding the page here.
Well, what sitter you got?
Help me out. I got the regular sitter. It should be right after Hanukkah.
Official Pesach, right before like Slichas, right by after menorah lighting.
Yeah, I know, but before Slichas. Is that true?
After Slichas, but like after like menorah lighting. Oh, look at that! Look
at hey, look at that!
There he is. He finally showed up.
Wow.
There's Levi Kamensky. Levi, did you daven Marv already? No. Okay. Okay, I'm going to say the bracha anyway for the Omer and count the Omer, and I want everybody who's listening to the show to repeat after me when I count the Omer. Hang on.
Yes, sir.
No, I have a bracha for the Megillah here. Hanukkah. So where's the?
Yeah, right after that.
No,
then there's going to be like
different sitter. Hang on.
Then there should be like Haggadah Shel Pesach or something, right around that.
Oh, area. You know what? It's right after Marav. That's what it is.
Oh, you got a new sitter. You must have the new.
Hang on. It's right here.
Oh, you have a new one. And the new one is right after.
It looks like the old one. Here it is. Everybody ready? Okay, I'll say the bracha. Everybody's going to say Amen. And then I'm going to count the Omer. Right. And everybody who's watching should count the Omer. I want to make sure I have the right day. I'm pretty sure that yesterday was the 14th.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. Everybody ready?
We're ready.
Amen. Chamisha Aser Yom Shehem Shnei Shvuot V'Yom Echad LaOmer It's Chesed of Tiferet.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So everybody should say, today is the 15th day of the Omer. It's 2 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. Not the guys on the show, because they're going to do it with the bracha, but everybody else who's listening, if you're listening on Thursday night, even if it's archived, even after the show, please count that 15th day of the Omer. It is 2 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. Okay, next. Where are we up to?
Well, we got 5 minutes left. What do you want to do?
I don't know. So what do we have? Maybe we just say good night.
Now let's sing. I'll sing another niggin. How about that?
Sing in
Yeah,
there.
good idea. Good idea. Another niggin.
There we go.
Let Morty sing.
And
Let
Morty,
Morty sing.
come
the nigga.
before us.
Morty, good nigga.
Nah, I like middle. I like middle.
Okay,
Come on.
All right,
remember.
Yeah.
Ya 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 my ya ya little ya ya little ya 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 little ya ya little ya 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 my ya ya my ya 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 my ya 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 ay 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 ya my ya ya la ya la 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 ya 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 ay 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 ay. Hey, I did it, I did it, hey, ya ya da, did it, ya ya, did it, ya, my ya, did it, ya, did it, ya, ya, my ya, did it, ya, did it, ya, ma. Ay, ay, did it, my ya, did it, my ya. Hey ya ya da ya ya da ya da ya 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 my ya
It ain't working, boys. You can't do it
It
together.
worked. I heard them both together.
Well,
You said the two different niggas are singing.
Oh wow, that's so different. But the voices
they're
were-
harmonizing the gunna.
Right.
one and one is 3. Okay, everybody, we're gonna have a time off song now. Everybody ready?
Do it. Yep.
GEZINTAHAIT, 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 remember, kids. GEZINTAHAIT.
GEZINTAHAIT.
Go, boys.
GEZINTAHAIT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Sein gewinnt.
That is it.